What's up, guys? No, this is not a PTP show. I know I'm using our intro for the nude shows until I get my own intro. We've been working on that, so bear with me. I'm gonna let people come on in. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up. Make sure you're hitting the share button. What's happening, Jonathan? That's my right hand, yo. I know when he's coming in the comment section, we're gonna have a good show. Oh, there's my left. Casey, my guys, man. It's good to be back. I didn't do a show. Did I do a show last week? I don't think I did. I am so discombobulated with these days, man. It's not even funny. I thought I had a primetime Patriot show today, and we don't even do those until Wednesday. I literally got up. I got all my news stories, everything I'm going to be talking about. I wish I could see my screen, and I don't even have a show. It's rough out here, but I have a special guest with me today. Everybody knows David Winkler. I say Winkler all the time, but it's my bad. I'm sorry. Charge it to my head, not my heart. But he's a friend. We've done shows together on Hot Mic. In fact, the first time I met him, he came on Hot Mic, and I grilled the crap out of him. I grilled him. But you know what? It was mutual respect because he hit me up and was like, hell of a show. You asked the questions that you should be asking. So we're going to have him back to talk about what he wants to do in New Jersey. We had Billy. We've had Darius. We're going to get all of New Jersey on here. Make sure that everybody is keeping their calendars for May 22nd through the 23rd because we have Operation Take Back America coming. It's going to be a great event. We have some awesome speakers. In fact, David is going to be a speaker at this event as well. So welcome my awesome guest, David Winkler. What's happening, man?
Hey, thank you for having me again.
Yes, of course. Let me turn this off. Yeah. It's hot in here. I got to turn this AC off.
Yeah, you were definitely right about that grilling. When it was a panel grilling too. It was one of those where I had four of you guys.
Was it four of us? Damn. Oh, I'm sorry, man. You went through it then.
You got to do it.
Hi, guys. I'm going to let some more people join before we get started. He really is, man. He really is. And we've done other shows. We're going to start. I've been busy. I honestly have with the event. You don't really have time to sit down and think. So we're going to do more shows. I'm going to get more people on Hot Mic, but we're here on MATA. This is Make America Think Again. I tried to bring all the up-and-coming people that are running for representative seats, Congress, mayors, governors. I want them to come on here, and I want them to be able to come and talk and be themselves. Now, with that being said, I'm going to let you introduce who you are, what your plans on, your policies, and then we'll get into our commentary.
All right. So for those of you guys who don't know me, I'm pretty much a native of Southern California, and then the military moved me over to New Jersey, and that's how I found my way here. I actually am a Marine Corps veteran as well as an Army veteran. Now about to be, interesting thing, about to be a law enforcement officer as well, because I want to, show my support to the Thin Blue Line as a conservative. So now I'm doing the third part. So, but yes, I'm running for Congress in the 8th Congressional District of New Jersey. I previously was looking at running for governor because we don't have a whole lot of conservatives here that can get the job done, really. We have a little bit of rhinoism going on or far right extremists. So, and then of course we got, Lord Murphy up there, who just completely is destroying the state.
Facts.
So, so now I'm back into the arena again, but I'm looking towards Congress, which is more my strong suit anyway, is national style policies and, laws and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much who I am. I don't know. Oops, I lost your.
Oops, I muted myself. That's my fault. What are your policies? What are you running on? That's important. We need to know what you guys are running for so that the American people have a accurate and fair depiction of who their representatives are going to be?
So I'm a America First kind of guy, and as everybody knows, I'm a huge supporter of Donald Trump. Always have, always will be. Um, but I'm a very America First kind of candidate. So I'm all about what Trump was doing for like the businesses, like lowering the taxes on or corporate tax rates. Um, I'm huge on trade. That was something that I really wanted to see more and get done from Trump. Is I'm more of a trades guy than I am these college degrees and everything else. I believe in the hands get things done more than these corporate types. It's what made America great. Like car manufacturing to the textile industry, all these all these technical things, to me is what make America or what makes America move. One of the biggest reasons why I'm running is I was a huge veterans advocate beforehand. I still don't think we're at where we need to be with veterans, especially after this 20-year conflict. And there's going to be a lot of fallout that's going to be taking place coming up, and a lot that needs to get done through things like the VA, or getting after these invisible wounds. The other reason I'm running too is I'm tired of the politicalization of our military, the PC nonsense that is going on there, and as having good congressional oversight over our military, we can go ahead and get these generals back in back in line the way they're supposed to be. Um, as well as our foreign policy when it deals with things like Israel, China, or any of our threats overseas as well. It's a strong suit of mine to be able to handle those correctly. So it's a whole lot of stuff I can go over, but I'm just going to stick with the foreign policy aspect, bringing back jobs, as well as taking care of our vets.
Absolutely. Those things are sorry. Those things are really important anyways. I tell people all the time, especially when you're a spouse and you are involved with the military, you do tend to pay more attention to world politics, what's happening overseas, where are we sending our money. So we absolutely need representatives that are going to be America first and looking at these foreign policy dealings. Now, you mentioned China. I did a whole show about China yesterday and them really flexing, just like straight flexing on America. They've already punked Australia. I'm waiting to see what other countries come into the playing field here. But what do you think about China? They're saying that America is ready for takeover right now as we speak.
Well, I mean, to me, I agreed with Trump's policies. You got to be hard on China, and you got to play that game wisely with China. Um, Biden, like I could tell you, from at least my standpoint, I could tell that the world is looking at Biden as a weak leader. That they don't look at him as something strong, and so of course they're going to keep trying, poking and prodding at people like Biden. I don't know if we lost you or not, but um, so just throwing that out there, I think that we need to have more tough stance on China, and I disagree with Biden's analysis that China is just like almost like a friend of us. No, they're a competitor. And to me, America is the greatest nation on earth, and we need to be able to compete with China, especially with the technology and the military side of China. That's something that I'm worried more about. And obviously, I'm not going to go too much into what I know about China's technology or military side, but it's something that we need to stay on top of to remain dominant in the amongst the nations here, especially the cyber aspects of what China's got going on.
Yeah,
Kind of worrisome, as well as the ballistic missile defense aspect of China is something that, or ballistic missiles is something that I'm actually really worried about. And I do think also we need to hold them accountable for what happened with the coronavirus as well.
absolutely. Well, Fauci and everybody else over there they're trying to shut down the Wuhan lab. No, let's not look over here. And I keep telling people, Russia, North Korea, those people, you honestly don't. I'm not going to say don't worry about them. But if we had to put on a scale of, or on a priority list, 1, 2, 3, Russia is 2 and North Korea is 3. North Korea was silent the entire time that Trump was in office because they had established in a relationship. So we're good there. China, they have always been the thorn in the side of America's back. And weak policies, weak foreign relations is not helping us. Yesterday, I showed the new army recruitment video, and we compared it to China. China is building an army to fight, a military. We're over here, hey, let's play games to learn how to do our job. Hey, let's go ahead and throw in the LGBTQ stuff as well.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
It's ridiculous, and I've had these conversations quite recently, and this is not new. This has been a process that's been taking place in our military for about, I would say, over a decade to almost 20 years. I mean, you get any military veteran that's been in, for about, a decade plus, they're going to tell you that they've seen this, slowly trickle to what it is now. And it's hurting our military. Our military needs to be lethal at all times. It's something one of the things I agreed with Mattis. We need to keep the lethality up. Um, it's not a place for political correctness. It's not a place to be playing games. Our defense of our nation is it should be a priority, and over giving these transgender type surgeries, which actually hurts readiness. But a lot of people don't want to talk about it because they're afraid. Just like I think I
Absolutely.
saw the Air Force captain just get relieved from
Yep.
Spaceman over talking about Marxism entering, even though the Secretary of Defense is quite a problem right now.
He is.
So, I mean, and he's introducing things like critical race theory into the military.
Absolutely. It is here. It's here. All right. They've had a whole down day. Everybody knows the down day is out there now. They had a whole down day specifically for extremism, and we're waiting for the race to click in. They already had a down day. Man, we were at Seymour. So this is right before Trump even got elected. They were having conversations about transgender. So this was 2017.
Yeah.
You're having down days about all these things that don't matter. When you enlist, you take an oath to defend the Constitution against foreign and domestic. The last time I checked, sexual orientation is not a part of the Constitution. Trying to be politically correct, not a part of the Constitution. I think I wish we would go back to understanding what it means to enlist in the military. Long ago, we had an accurate understanding of what it meant, what you signed up for.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm a strong supporter of the military's equal opportunity policies.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's my job is in which I was the enlisted side, the non-commissioned officer type. It's my job to help and aid these commanders be able to be the most effective commanders that they can, and that's what I believe is the key in putting me in Congress. Is I know what these commanders need. They don't need these politically correct nonsense going on. It actually hurts their ability to lead, and their ability to be effective on the battlefields. We need to be able to let them focus on the mission at hand rather than all this outside nonsense that they got to deal with.
Facts, man. But you briefly touched on Israel too. I wasn't really up on Israel until about, it's probably been a week now since I've really been paying attention to it. I'm gonna let you give your thoughts on it, and then I'll go after you. I'm more interested in what you have to say about it.
Well, one of my things is Israel is one of our greatest allies. Actually, one of the strongest allies that we have in the world here. And I'm absolutely appalled by the way the Democrats have taken this and have actually done nothing. Besides, I've heard some thoughts and prayers going on, but that's not what they need right now. They need leadership. And from that squad as well, I've been paying more attention to the squad's reaction. It's absolutely disgusting, to sit there and come to the aid of Hamas. Hamas is definitely a terrorist organization. I'm not going to sit here and paint them as anything but that. When you launch thousands of missiles into a civilian green zone or an area like that, that's definitely a war crime. It's not something that we should be, excited about, happy about, or something that should be tolerated amongst NATO, amongst the UN, or anything like that. That's something that should be denounced. And Israel has absolutely a right to defend itself. And it's not like they're going on the offense, but that what you see going on in the sky there is pure ballistic missile defense capabilities going off, and not only in protection of Israel, but the Gaza Strip as well. And they have actually doing a pretty great job at doing so. But when they keep expending rounds like that, and or ammunitions and munitions like that, it takes strong leadership from U.S. to make sure that we get them the appropriate defense to be able to protect those civilians over there. But then that's only a temporary fix. What we need to do is condemn Hamas and go amongst the world leaders and say, hey, we need to do something about them. I'm tired of AOC and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and all them sitting there and playing that game. And then I just found out quite recently that one of our New Jersey's own senators, Senator Bob Menendez, came to the aid of the Palestinians and said, hey, Israel, pretty much don't retaliate or do anything. I would just wager to say this. 3 planes on 9/11, did their thing, and you saw how we reacted. You had thousands of missiles going on over Israel, and you're telling them that they can't respond. I got a problem with that. Israel is a nation, a very strong nation. They should be able to respond how they feel they should, really. And I think that we should be coming to the aid of Israel and helping them out, and in any way that they need us.
We're on the same page. I Israel was hit first out of nowhere. We all saw the videos coming out. Most of the videos I seen were definitely not on media. They were coming from people there. In fact, I didn't even realize I had a really large platform of Jews that watched me, and I had a lot in my inbox like, "Are you going to talk about this? Are you going to do a show on this?" And I'm like, I don't know what's going on there. But when I found out, of course, they have been feuding for a long time. This is something that's been going on over there for a long time. But when our representatives in our country take up the SJW fight and say, you evicted 7 people, it is inhumane. Are you kidding me? So because 7 people were evicted, that allows a jihadist terrorist group, Hamas, to then bomb Israel. And Israel is supposed to just say, oh, okay. Because that's what our leaders are saying right now.
I mean, it goes back to, the Democrat special interest groups as well. You got things like the Nation of Islam and all those groups behind them that are very radical and sympathizers of not only Hamas, but things like BDS. There's all these other weird groups over there that they're sympathizers with. And of course, AOC, listens to that. I remember one of her first things she said was something about like the occupation of Palestine or something. She got asked to talk about it. She couldn't ever talk about it on TV. But a lot of people don't. A lot of these congressional members have never really been outside of the United States to understand what's really going on. They've never stepped foot in the Middle East. They really don't understand the foreign relations aspects. And it's about time we start sticking people in Congress that have dealt with these countries, have dealt with, the Middle East, have dealt with these Arab countries. It's something that it does take a little bit of a delicate touch, a little bit of strategy, a little bit of patience as well. But, Trump did a very great job at it. And, you didn't see Hamas doing what they were doing underneath Trump. It was almost like,
just about to say that.
It was like, hey, we smell weak leadership here, and we're going to do what we want because they know Biden's not going to. He can't really go against the Democrat Party like that.
He can't.
He can't. The Democrat
China is funding. China's funding Palestine. Okay. And China already said, America, if you do anything that we feel is a sign of aggression, we're coming. So if you wonder why Biden's not doing anything, look at China. That will tell you what is happening in America. This is why, they have every right to defend themselves. Let's send an envoy over there. Try to de-escalate. how are you gonna rationalize with radicals? Like this is what we're dealing with here.
It's the same stance I would take with Iran. We should never get into money. Should never have to me, I don't negotiate with terrorists. And it's something that I believe with, our congressional members should be doing as well, is we don't negotiate with terrorists. Um, Iran to me is no different than this Hamas aspect. I'm not negotiating with you. We're not giving you money. And it was the same thing that Trump did. Like I believe that should be the foreign policy, is being tough on radicalism like that, as well as having a strong force posture over there in the oceans with the Navy, or even including having some putting some advisor roles back over there. Um, the other thing though is I do agree with the downsizing of military over there in places like Iraq, Afghanistan, and all that, but we need to do it correctly. And this whole September 11th thing really annoyed me, because to me that is just grandstanding that he did it on September 11th. Because come on, man, what are you doing? But they were actually supposed to be out months prior to that. But to me, I still believe that there needs to be somewhat of a presence there, but a gradual, drawdown there. I don't believe that the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Defense over there in Afghanistan is ready yet to be able to handle what will be a power vacuum once we leave. We all know it's going to be power vacuums regardless, but they still need a little bit of help.
Yeah, I mean that's leadership. We are the greatest economy and country on the face of the earth. That is why people come here. It's actually it sometimes it scares me, but then I understand exactly where we are. For those of us that are Christian, my husband is enlisted. We are right across the ocean from China. So at any moment, if things can turn dramatically left, and we are at our leader's mercy. That's if you just look at it for what it is, we are at their mercy. People should care about who the commander in chief is. People should care about his picks and his cabinet and who he's picking to run these different departments. Like Lloyd Austin, man, he's a communist. I don't know why people won't come out and say it.
Yeah, this funny part is I believe, and I'll have to get you her name, but the Assistant Secretary of Defense was actually a far left liberal from New Jersey, or that pick came from Biden, and Murphy was all happy about it. And I was like, no, she needs to go as well. But I have not agreed with anything that Austin has done. I have so many frustrated field grade officer friends of mine. And these are the ones that are running these battalions to, or higher echelons. And it's all he's doing is hurting not only that, but the morale and the recruitment efforts of the military, because no one's going to want to join. And it's something that I actually absolutely do care about. If we look at these last 19, 20 years, only less than 1% of Americans decided to join the armed forces and wear the uniform. And actually, out of that, about 38% of the American populace actually qualifies to join the military. So we got a big problem when it comes to recruitment. And as I said, it's going to take a mature leader up there in Congress to be able to have those discussions on the Armed Forces Committee and say, hey, what can we do to get after it? Because the military's way of doing it right now is throwing money at it, and nobody really cares that you're throwing money. They want something more than just money to be able to, deal with all this nonsense that's coming down the pipe. So it's the same kind of concept I'm taking with the law enforcement side of the house, as well as restoring the power in the commander, restoring the power within, your, as I say, law enforcement officer, like your chiefs, to your lower echelon officers down there. But it's been taken away from them and it's more politicized than anything. They need to have the power back in their hands to make these decisions, and they need lawmakers to back them and have their back when they're trying to make these tough decisions, and not somebody like Biden that doesn't understand where he's at half the day. I'm trying to put that as nicely as I can. So we have to be able to have a strong congressional delegation in there to be able to handle the weak leadership from the executive branch right now.
Man, there are times where I feel immense anger. And then I'm like, you know what? We need to go through hard times as Americans. We need to have these new lows so that people learn because it seems like people only learn from a mistake when it affects them. You
Yeah.
know, everybody went to the voting booth in their feelings in 2020. Um, I'm not going to sit here and say a lot of people didn't vote for Joe Biden because they absolutely did out of pure hatred for Trump.
Yep.
And then I asked people, did we have all these problems under Trump? Was our national security a threat? It is threat is being threatened. It is weak. Did we go through all this? Did we have North Korea saying, forget America, I'm not talking to them?
And specifically about that, I was an advisor over there in 2017 in South Korea, and it's much more than just words that Trump did over there in relationship building. The guy pretty much checkmated the peninsula with great use of the NDAA budget, with some heavy hitting pieces, which I'm obviously not going to talk about, but I was there to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the South Koreans were a little bit upset because I forgot what her name was, the former president before President Moon, but she was going through getting arrested and
Mm-hmm.
thrown out of the government, and then President Moon took over, and he embraced Trump and he embraced the military strategy, let the commanders do what they do, and Kim Jong Un's been silent for a good reason over there. And it's something that scares me is without that kind of strong leadership, I fear for what comes. But yeah, I mean, it's this is a new low. But to me, I was actually I was saying that myself is I'm a firm believer. Give the people what they want. I mean, if the Democrats want to go with Joe Biden over there, now we've seen what it is. We should have a strong red wave coming up here in 2022, so we can actually get the job done and fix this mess that we got going on here.
Absolutely. We got some questions for you. Is David from the Lexit movement?
Yeah, so I've been endorsed a few times by the elected movement. Am I part of it currently? Not really like doing much for them, but I know a lot of those members there, and a lot of the leadership of Lexit. They're a great group of people.
They are.
Definitely reach out to them, and I would work with them anytime. They're a great group of people.
Awesome questions. Guys, if you have questions, if you have anything you want to ask him, now's the time to flood the comment section with it. We wanted to really highlight foreign policy because I don't think people really understand how important that is, especially to our economy, our military, our intelligence. It's a scary time. It's a scary time for spouses. I know soldiers are on edge, service members. Can't tell me they're not, man.
And I will tell you foreign policy. There's one thing that I forgot to talk about, but I will be tightening restrictions on the use of DARPA funds. I heard Biden talk about it during the State of the Union address. And for those who are not familiar, there was I know that there's they talk about this big lie about election interference, election fraud, but there was actually a big problem with the use of DARPA funds underneath what was called the McChrystal Group, and they're not even hiding it. That they were using AI technology to mess with social media presence of Donald Trump and other things like that. And it's actually out there, and I'll give it over to you, Suni, so you can digest. I think I did give it to you, but I'll give it to
You
you again so
did.
you can digest it. But
Yeah. Give me
there's
that again.
there was 3 companies that were a part of it. Actually, one I went over to New York City because it sits in Manhattan. The Disinformation Pack, as well as it's Media Source One. And what they essentially did was Media Source One had about 2.3 million influencers on social media. And what they did was use DARPA AI technology. And as soon as Trump said something about coronavirus, or he said something that the liberals didn't like, they were messing with the social media algorithms and everything else and I found it. And of course, I got it off to the congressional members. Still waiting for them to respond right now. But Yeah, it's public information. It's out there.
Welcome to America.
So
Every
yeah, I do not believe in that the Department of Defense should not have any technology being used in elections.
Okay, we got a question. How much do you know about VVNAO? What is that?
I have no idea.
I have no clue. You have to tell us what those acronyms are for.
I know AO to me is area of operation, but
I don't know what you're saying, Barbara. Let's get to another question. Are we able to win another election? If we do, are they going to punish bad political figures in the White House?
to me, this is what I believe in. I have no problem because it's what the people want. I think that's where people get it twisted. I'm about what the people want. So the people want, investigations onto certain individuals, whether it be the Biden, Harris, whether it be, legislators. I'm all about it. Like just I'm a representative of you. So you ask me, hey, can we look into this and we make it happen? That's the way it's supposed to be. Representative governance, not what I want, what you guys want. So if there's something legitimately bothering the American populace about what they've done, of course, let's investigate it.
Let's do it. What is your stance on the First and Second Amendment?
Oh, I'd love to start with second before first because I mean, shoot, I am a constitutional carry guy. It's something that I was trying to get in New Jersey, even though I got some lukewarm Republicans in New Jersey. I'm for what Tennessee did. I'm for what Texas did. I'm for permitless carry, whether it's open or concealed. I don't care really what weapons you guys buy. I'm a huge supporter of now, as long as, yeah, I mean, I've had some people be like, well, can I get a Patriot missile in my backyard? Well, if you got, 200, $300 million to go ahead and spend on that, by all means, go ahead and spend on it. But I don't think you're going to be able to. So that's why I'm not so worried about when people say like an F-35 or, a gigantic tank or whatever. Okay, I get it. But no, I'm a huge supporter of it. I believe in constitutional carry and the right to bear arms. The First Amendment, I'm all for it. And what I'm fighting for in New Jersey right now is medical freedom and religious freedom. No to vaccine mandates. No to anything that really violates your HIPAA laws as well. Nothing. I don't know. We're not doing. We're not going to violate people's medical or religious freedoms or rights.
Okay, how much do you know about Vietnam veterans and Agent Orange?
A whole lot. Okay. One of the things that I'm trying to get after is Guam. Guam has no representation whatsoever when it comes to the VA. I want a VA hospital in Guam. Okay. To get after things like the Agent Orange or the chemicals that were sprayed over the fields over there. I helped with the Blue Water Act and trying to get the Vietnam veterans, retroactive service-connected disabilities, discharge upgrades, you name it. There's a whole lot that I have, as I said, planned for the veterans and taking care of that. But we must do right by every era veteran alive. I don't care if it's, World War II, all the way to the OIF, OEF veterans. We need to take care of all of them. And that includes legal fallout.
He said, hit me up later and we can discuss some things. Okay. What other questions do you guys have? And make sure everybody's RSVPing for the event. David will be at the event May 22nd through the 23rd, Operation Take Back America. Make sure you're hitting the notification so that you don't miss it. Who do you think is running the White House?
Who do I think is running the White House? Definitely not Biden.
No, not at all.
I've always thought, to tell you the truth, Kamala Harris stands in the back there, doesn't say much, but I think she doesn't even, she's not even running anything either. You got to pay attention to when Harris was a senator, and the influences over Kamala Harris. If you guys didn't know Kamala Harris, she missed over like 64 or 65% of her floor votes. She was never really present as a senator. And so it kind of tells you somebody was up in her ear, but you could see, I forget. It was a few times during the um what was it, the impeachment trials. You remember when like Pelosi would like give her a look or whatever, and like Kamala would like snap to and all that. And like
Yeah.
I feel like it's like people like Pelosi's of the legislative branch there that are that own Biden and Harris.
Yeah. Um, Even when he first started speaking, Nancy was at everything. And Kamala Harris, it's two women and a man in the middle. So we know who's running the country. I'm not going to say it because I catch flack for saying it. People don't like, and I'm going to bring up the topic that we always talk about on Hot Mic. They do not like when I talk about men's rights or the representation of men and how we need a man to be in this position. And these are the ramifications. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
yeah,
saying.
what's interesting is I do have a men's rights platform coming out. Just letting you guys know. One of the biggest issues that I'm going to be looking into as a legislator is the Title 40 funds of the states. A lot of people don't understand that you have to go back to like the 1990s where Medicaid and Medicare were tied to child support arrears underneath what's called Title 4D. It's a problem. It's how states pay off debts. And that's why I just take a huge problem with that. I feel like, these family court systems have turned into like for-profit companies. They're not about the best interests of the children, nor do I think that men get a fair shake within the system. And I believe that men and women should have, equal rights when it comes to the family court system, divorce. Something I also want to take a look into and crack at is alimony. I think that the laws are outdated when it comes to alimony. You know, I know I'm going to catch a lot of slack from a lot of the a lot of the women constituency, but it is what it is. It needs to be taken a look at and revamped to be more equal.
Absolutely. We have to. I just did a live earlier expressing the importance of fathers. And we can even compare this to the military appreciation month. You have a hard time when you're active duty and a single parent.
Yep.
A lot of men don't have the rights that they need. And in return, that creates a cycle of just angry young people, especially angry young men. I know that we're never going to be able to completely eradicate and like somewhat really remove child support because they're going to keep it around. But like you said, if you can reform it and do it to where it's actually equal for both parents, and if we could spend time expressing how important not only moms are, but dads are important, man. Dads are important.
And to me, one of the biggest conservative platforms is family values, and it's one
Yeah.
of the reasons why I created a men's rights platform is you got to bring the father home. And in order to do that, you need to stop nailing them over the head and teaching or treating them like second-class citizens, or else they're not going to come home. You got to treat them as if they're fathers, like they have a place that is, equally as beneficial within the household. I mean, you can't watch TV to movies, read articles, or whatever it may be in our society without, the sense that the man really doesn't have a strong place within the home. And it's just kind of depressing, it's. I believe that we need to do a better job by the fathers, as well as I'm not taking anything away from mother.
Yeah.
I just feel like let's go ahead and create an environment where both are equally, valued. And that's the way I would look at it. Try to bring, as many or redevelop the nuclear family.
Facts. And every conservative has that talking point because it's important and it's vital to our republic. I'm not going to call it a democracy, but it's important. Very important. Obama's third term. You are right. People forget about Obama, and he's definitely in Joe's ear. He's definitely there. You can tell with the way where our foreign relations are being dealt with. You can definitely tell, especially the way our military is being dealt with, because Obama did the exact same thing.
Yep.
Nothing different.
Obama was absolutely horrible foreign policy.
Terrible.
I kept my mouth shut the whole entire time I was in the military dealing with his nonsense. Especially with
Respect the
Afghan,
position, not the man.
Afghanistan relations. I mean, that's something you got to learn how to do. You got to respect the office. I mean, you may not like the person. I mean, because I had to deal with McChrystal and General Petraeus over there and as an advisor, and I got to tell you straight out, both of them could not get the job done. But you'll see them on CNN, the Fox, or have book sales, and it just annoys me. It's something that, as I said, I'm going to try to work on if I get elected there, to stop the politicization of our military and stop these generals from coming out afterwards and doing a bunch of nonsense. You can speak your piece, obviously, underneath the First Amendment, but stop watering down our military.
That sums it up. Thanks for being on with me today. I hope everyone enjoyed speaking to David. Like I said, he will be at our event, so you get to hear more from him. But tell everybody where they can find you and follow you.
Right now, you guys can find me on Facebook. I have a public figure page. It's just David John Winkler on there. My website is I'm a little slow right now, but my website will be up this week. I just wanted a certain way, so I was a little picky on that. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Yeah, and I want to thank you guys for having me on here. You guys are amazing, and thank you guys for what you do, especially you, Sunny, and thank you to your husband as well. Semper Fi and Army Strong there. So
facts, man. Thank you for coming on. This is needed, and I'm gonna have everybody that's running. I'm going to reach out, whether you ignore me or not. I'm gonna be knocking. I think this is what we need to get back to. America first. We need to take questions from the American people, and these guys that are running have to be able to answer these questions. It can't be like he just said, you're on a big platforms, big mainstream media where you're not hearing from America. You have no clue what they're asking you. They're going to pitch you softballs. They might pitch a hardball, but I guarantee you it's some sort of scandal surrounding it and nothing that's really pertinent and important to America. So thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back on Wednesday. Blake has got a show coming up. Kaylee does her daily with Kaylee every day. So stick with us, get ready for this event, and let's make America think again.
All right, take care.